Welcome to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Now, last week, the Ugandan government issued a directive to public servants on how to dress, especially for the ladies, which sounds biased considering even men have started dressing like this. So, for public servants in Uganda, no miniskirts, no short dresses. Basically, if you bumped into a lady dressed like this in Uganda, then she's in the private sector. Now, the Ugandan permanent secretary made this permanent announcement.
Generally, in Uganda, and we are talking about generally, that means the majority, do not believe in people exposing their body parts, which should otherwise be covered.
Judging from the instructions given, I believe this is the look they are going for. Basically, wakorino wetu wanadunga poa kuliko public servants wa Uganda vile wanafaa kudunga. Now, the directive, however, has been criticized as a law targeting women despite there being specifications on for male public servants, like how male public servants should dress. Men are required to wear neat, long trousers, shirt, jacket, and a necktie. Basically, wanaume wameambiwa wavae vile wanavaanga, alafu ladies wameambiwa wasivae vile wanavaanga. And then the permanent secretary of the country's Ministry of Public Service shared this confusion while explaining the law.
We are not saying below the knee. We are saying not above the knee.
What she's saying is that you do not necessarily need or have to dress like Esther Wahome, but you must not dress like Huda. Yes. Tungesema akodhe, but mtasema tunamuonea kwa show. Now, on that note, we hope the government will consider people like Jackie Vike or Awinja, as she's popularly known, you know, people who cannot stand with both knees on the same level. I think magoti moja ya Awinja ni ya Jubilee, moja ni ya NASA. Now, dressing regulations is one of the many platforms of gender inequality, and we all know that the claims of men being favored against women are not baseless. The vice versa is also true. There's an ongoing struggle with the gender equality across the world, but it can easily be confused for a fight for gender similarity. I'm not a gender expert, but that does not mean that it needs a genius to tell that men and women are equal. We are just not similar. Everything men can do, women can also do. But still there are things that women do best. Just the same way there are things men do best. And there are things tunapelekana. Vitu kama udaku ni unisex.
It is not like here where you use technical know-who or your relatives in power to get clients or to be able to run it. And I've run it.
Yes. Udaku. Ama yosi udaku. Exactly. One thing we've got to give to the ladies is that when a lady is good at something, she's perfect. Take driving, for example. People say women can't drive, which is not true. A good lady driver is perfect. Lakini mwenye ajui ku drive is also perfect at not knowing how to drive. Ona huyu. Surely. But this happens to men too. Kwanza wanaume wakijaribu kujitoa kwa noma, it's even worse than that lady's attempt to leave the parking lot. That's exactly how it looks like when some politicians try to change their tune on issues.
KANU had joined the opposition outfit NASA.
Chama cha KANU nikiwa katibu mkuu. Tuko ndani kabisa, ndani.
It has now been resolved that the party will support President Uhuru Kenyatta.
How do you have the same facial expression for lies and for the truth? Surely. Now, equality varies from one person to another. Kenyans actually have a very interesting way to test gender. The most daring phrase people use ni, kama wewe ni mwanaume, pita hii line. Alafu unakataa kupita. Majamasi niliwaambia uni dem, uni msupa, uni dranya. Now, the good thing is that gender discrimination is slowly becoming a thing of the past. We have women being accepted to higher positions of leadership, and hopefully after these elections we are going to have the first woman elected governor. Counties like Kirinyaga are actually spoiled for choice. The president was there recently and he could not publicly endorse either Martha Karua or Anne Waiguru. However, this is not the first time a Kenyan president has been forced to choose between two women. One time. Now, there is speculations that women in positions of power intimidate men, but that's subject to confirmation. But then how do you explain why the gender bill is still struggling in parliament? Madam Bose Sholei seems to have a plan.
Kama wanasema wako na tyranny of numbers na nyinyi ni 52% ya population ya Kenya, nani yako na tyranny of numbers? Si ni wakina mama?
Tyranny of numbers ni ngumu sana kuwaka na waume, because the challenge with Kenyan men is that we just have a way of fixing ourselves everywhere. This was a women's only meeting, but there was a man mahali tucked in pale katikati ya watu pale. But at least we are better off than some countries. This was a meeting in Saudi Arabia to discuss women's affairs. Hakuna mama hata mmoja. Unless they classified kanzu kama dress. Now, the point, during that meeting, this point by Honorable Martha Karua was very interesting.
Palipo mama, watu huleta fujo.
Exactly. But this is one area of difference. Palipo mama, watu huleta fujo. This I disagree with, to some extent, because it goes both ways. Palipo mama pia fujo utokea. Na hiyo fujo labda ni hiyo mama ameleta. Mnaenda kwa club. Alafu demu yako anakupigia simu, babe, nimetukana mtu hapa kwa entrance na ni kama amekasirika, hebu kuja umpige. Alafu kitu inakudanganya, unatoka, unaenda unapata yeye ni bouncer na wewe unatoshana na njugushi. Now, at this point, the inner you, nafsi yako, should check in and tell you that it is better to be single and you are alive than to be dead and you have a girlfriend. Or let's say you survive. How do you explain the whereabouts of your missing teeth to your future wife? At the sweetheart, you see, my ex did this to me. Seriously. Hata sikuwa nataka kufight, but I chose to defend my love. Yes. Alafu akaniacha. Ati juithi na meno. I have a strong feeling that the fight to achieve gender equality is usually focused on wrong points. Ati a female actor is not an actor, should be an actress. Why is it a female doctor a doctress? Now, mister is for a man, but mistress could mean something else. But ladies don't seem to care. Maybe maybe it's because men out here, kwanza wasi wa Kayole, have coined worse nicknames for women. Ati nguna, timbus, dranya. Aki mimi ningekuwa dem mtu aniite dranya, tunakosana. Ati kuna ingine kwanza nilisikia ya Kayole, ati inaitwaje, dem anaitwa Kinyambis. Wait. For real. Do you know how awkward that sounds? Ati hey, Jemo ako home. Hapa nani anaulizia? Mwambie ni Kinyambis wake niko hapa. Surely. Don't take such low from men. Now, a lady can introduce her man as, this is my mister. Lakini wewe kama mwanaume ukijaribu kuintroduce dem yako, ati guys, this is my mistress, utajipata hata wewe huna meno. Ati bro, kuliendaje na ule msupa wako ucheza rugby? Madheni limita mistress. Hata sitaki kuongea hiyo story. Madheni relationship ni stress. Look at the distribution of jobs. It's breaking news when we have a female mechanic, a female tout. We have male nurses too, but they are mostly viewed as doctors because nursing is highly assumed to be a woman's job. So much so that even the phrase, my boyfriend is a nurse, does not sound right. Bottom line is that we are all important. God had a reason. Mungu alikuwa na sababu kubwa sana to create both genders. And this is one classic example.
I would like to urge and to request all women who are in the age bracket of childbearing to breastfeed their children for at least 6 months. If you want to know the benefits of breastfeeding, look at me. I was breastfed for 3 years.
Seriously. And if that's true, that this guy was breastfed for 3 years, then this guy must have been breastfed for 10 years. So si hata majengo ilimjenga. Now, gender balance and equality is a very broad subject. We can only scratch the surface. Our guest tonight is Nairobi Women Representative, Rachel Shebesh. And let's see how deep we can. Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori, and our subject on the show tonight is gender equality, and our guest is Nairobi Women Representative, Honorable Rachel Shebesh, and if you noticed, I did not slap the table. Karibu. Karibu kwa show. Karibu. Asante. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I like your brand,
Thank
Manzi
you.
Wanai. Thank goodness.
But it has moved to Mama Nai Jengari.
At least. Afadhali hukujita Kinyambes Wanai. Karibu kwa show yetu.
Thank you.
We have a picture of you.
Yeah.
Mulikuwa mnalipa watu wako na nitwaje pregnant women. Yes, this was vetting ya women wenye walikuwa na mimba.
Yeah.
So hao watoto wakizaliwa ama hiyo mimba ni sponsored basically.
No.
Yes.
Hiyo ilikuwa function kule Murang'a.
What was that about?
The women rep, rafiki yangu anaitwa Sabina Chege. Akona program ya kupromote women to give birth. Yes. Ukikumbuka vizuri Murang'a, Kiambu, nini, there has been a lot of alcohol problem ile ya second generation where people are not giving birth.
Drunken masters, yes.
Because, you know, so, that was a program in Murang'a, sio Nairobi.
Okay. Na sasa mlikuwa mnajuaje difference ya mimba na kitambi?
Tunajua si ni wa mama.
That goes. And you didn't have any men sneaking in hapo na mawivu?
No. No, hakukua.
Sawa. Our subject on the show is gender equality, gender balance. Your bill mbona ilikuwa ma parliament?
Because of men.
Because of men?
Yeah, wanaume watakangi wa mama in leadership. They want them somewhere else but not in leadership.
Sawa. And na mko wengi sana. First of all, 47 women reps.
Yes.
Okay, now most people don't understand kazi ya women rep exactly inakuanga gani?
It was exactly the same as the men.
Yes.
Bringing legislation to parliament, making laws, oversighting government and representation. But representation yetu ilianza 1.5 years ago only because huwezi represent mtu kwa ground bila kumfanyia projects, bila kumsaidia, bila kupatia basari.
Okay.
So if you are just on the ground doing nothing, then of course you are a weaker person.
What do you think is the problem? Mbona not all women can run and still get the seats? Effort yako vile.
Because you know a woman must do 3 times what a man does in politics. If a man is on the ground one day, you have to be there 3 days. That's just the fact. Yeah, we have to work much harder. And not many women are ready to be called names, you know, to go through the kind of nonsense we go through. Not many women are ready. And most of all, not many families or even husbands are ready. So, you know, to get a woman out there going for a seat, for example, like Joyce Laboso, Anne Waiguru, Martha Karua going for governor, those are women and a half.
Women and a half. Okay. So what a man does, you're supposed to do 3 times.
Yes.
So ukisikia Maina Kageni alikuwa hapa na ameacha thao,
nitakuja na 3,000.
Okay. Sawa. Now your take on the country's leadership. How long do you see this going for? Ama mtavumilia tu mpaka ifike?
The women leadership thing?
Yes.
We are not too badly off now. There was a time we were only 20 in parliament. Now if you add the 47 women and the senators and what, we are around 85. That's a strong voice. It is the reason why in the last parliament, we passed bills that we could not have passed before about matrimonial property, inheriting. We passed. The marriage bill, we passed. The child trafficking, we passed. Why? Because there were women in the house. When we were in parliament before, when we were only 22, we couldn't pass those bills. You couldn't pass anything in the floor that touched on women and uplifting the status of women. You could never. Because let me tell you, men in parliament, when they are chauvinistic, there's no difference between Jubilee and NASA. Wanafanana.
Then si waungane pamoja basi.
On that wanaungana all the time.
Chauvinistic.
Yeah.
Madharau.
Yote.
Wakon, hiyo ni manifesto ya combination.
Huwezi jua difference ya Duale na Midio saa ile wanafight gender bill.
I am really hoping that one day we are going to have a woman president. I'm really hoping. And let's say it's you, because I trust you have political ambitions. If I were you and then I become president, this is me thinking. Me unajua hata siendi kuvai. I would employ a police unit to slap the governor. Like, governor anaamka asubuhi anambia bwana governor tunangoja mashavu yako hapa kwa yes wakuja people wanashinda hivi usiku.
Okay.
That would be me.
No, that's not me. You know what? Kidero is an individual. He made a mistake. He paid for it. He's not all governors, he's not all men. So I never want to generalize the issue of Kidero because it's an individual problem, which I believe he has sorted because it's an emotional problem.
Yes.
You know, you can't slap a women rep in front of cameras and you're okay. Something must be wrong with you.
And he denied. Yes.
And then you come out and deny what has just been said. You know, something is psychologically wrong. But today when I look at Kidero, I realize that that thing taught him something.
He learned.
He learned.
But how do you know he has learned? You should go to his office again and try the whole experiment then.
No,
but when then a helmet ya pikipiki.
Yes. He has. I've met Kidero many times after that. And I know. And actually he was genuinely very apologetic eventually. No, I just thought, hey, get some help, guy. Get some help. And he did.
Then you can't know he has changed.
He has, because he has not slapped me again and I've been around him quite a bit.
Hey.
Yes. So I don't think he can go back to that point. No, he can't. No, he can't. And by the way,
but you're friends now. You're friends now.
Yeah, we are
politically. So mtu akikuchokoza
in
politics, you could say, we wachana mimi nikutie Kidero.
No. Yeah, maybe I can do that as a joke. Yes.
Mimi nimesema what I would probably do if I'm president. And these are jokes. If I choose to run for president, this is a comedy show. Now, what do you think you would change first?
I would immediately move from 30% to 50-50.
50-50.
My government would be 50-50. With no apologies.
If someone
not
wins
the 1/3, not the 2/3, it would be 50-50. What I'm able to appoint, I would appoint women 50%, men 50%.
So because let's say parliament.
Yeah.
Because parliament people are elected.
No, so I'm saying appointments. You've said that if I'm a president, president appoints.
Yes. I thought you were saying that even in parliament, you would ensure it's 50-50 because that would mean mtu akiwin.
Let me tell you something about political leaders.
Yes.
Can I tell you?
Yes.
We have, for example, in Jubilee,
yes,
the only female governor candidates. Have you had one from NASA?
No.
Yeah. Why do we have?
But the governors have wives. I think that's how they count.
No. we have a deliberate program in Jubilee called Women for Women. As a president, you can make a decision on affirmative action. And it's called affirmative action because you give the woman a leeway, a space in your political party because naturally they will not get that space.
Yes.
And that's why it's called affirmative action.
That's a rare show of unity. I've seen women from the other political divides campaigning, endorsing the other women who are running.
Yes.
Like,
for example, look at the women reps. Look at me and Esther Passaris. My main competitor is Passaris.
Your friends?
Very good friends. Not pretending. It is me who made Jeff Koinange leave that KTN after abusing Esther Passaris. I made it my business.
You are the one
I made it my business. I made it my business.
Oh my.
Because he called a woman to a show and degraded her. And not only the person who was degrading her, who was Miguna, he himself kept throwing in questions and jabs to Esther Passaris to embarrass her. So you wonder, did you come to ask me what I want? Because at that time she wanted to be governor.
Yes.
Ask her the same questions you're asking Miguna. What do you want to do? Blah, blah, blah. But you can't go back into silly questions. Actually, they were petty, they were childish. And that he had to go. And just keep warning people. Don't dare.
So don't dare. Jeff.
Don't dare.
As we wind up our debate, other than politics, what don't people know Honorable Shebesh does? On the side?
Apart from politics?
Yes.
Probably people don't know I'm a grandmother, which I am.
When Mshosho?
Yeah, I'm a shosh.
So our grandmother wanai tuko na. This is your moment.
I just want to say
this is your moment,
to the people of Nairobi. Cast your vote for people who have worked. Do not be swayed too much by propaganda, by our politics, by our pettiness. I want a vote this time because I had not worked when I was elected. They gave me this seat on goodwill. I am now saying I have done a lot of work. Elect people because of the work they have done.
Round of applause for Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
This is a very tricky interview. Hata huwezi sema wapi makofi ya Mheshimiwa. Now, thank you very much. That's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.
Thank you.